Hey guys, so it's been a minute. And it is about damn time, if you didn't know. But I figured you're due for an update since it's now been a complete month since COVID. We've both lasted about a full 2 weeks for us, completely. There's still some lingering side effects. Like, I still have a bit of a cough. I think Zach still has a bit of a cough. I can't tell because he also has smoker's cough, but then the COVID cough sounded really different. So he's still like, he'll cough, but it didn't quite sound like a smoker's cough. So there's that. And then right now I got like a lot of phlegm, which I know like original COVID was a dry cough, but this one was not. Like, it wasn't. And that also could just be allergies as well, so, because it is still that time of year. I noticed that I have headaches every day, and I need to get that checked out. While all of my kidney meds can cause nausea and headaches and a ton of other things, it could be that. It very well could be that because they've definitely been wreaking havoc on my body the last few years, but it just seems like I've had a headache every day since COVID started, so I think that's kind of a lingering thing I definitely need to get checked out. Sometimes I can't breathe for shit. I'll just be like, and I won't be doing anything. I'm going to attempt exercising today. We'll see how that goes. Just because, one, I'm very, very out of shape, and then two, my lungs, COVID attacks the fuck out of your lungs, so there's that. And yeah, so... But we're doing a lot better. Our energy is back, almost pretty much back to our normal levels. I wouldn't say 100% because mine's never at 100%. But yeah, we're doing much better now. It sucked. I do not recommend. COVID just fucking took us the fuck out. I know I've already swore like a billion times already, but listen, it was rough. So, since like towards the end of COVID, when I was like, I got my energy back up, but I don't want to go out in public, not quite 100%, I started baking things that I want to put in my bookshop or bookshop cafe, that is, or whatchamacallit, my brain stopped working. So that's something also I've noticed, like, my ADHD already causes like my brain to blank, but it's gotten so much worse since then, and I didn't even think about that until my friend who had COVID like 2 times. She's like, ever since COVID, I'm just dumb. My brain just stops. I'm like, oh shit, my brain's been doing that too. Like, it'll really just stop mid-sentence more than it usually does. And we both have ADHD. We're like, oh. And apparently, it makes your organs swell up. So if you get COVID and feel like you lost weight afterwards, well, you probably did if you didn't have an appetite like we did. But it's because your organs finally came back down to the size they're supposed to be at. So cute. Love that. Anyways, so for the past about 2.5 weeks, I've been baking things from scratch, completely from scratch. And I've made now 2 loaves of bread and cinnamon rolls. I made some experimental cookies. They're good. I wouldn't put them on the menu. Probably wouldn't make them again, but they're texture of a biscuit, like a sweet, like a southern biscuit, not like British cookie biscuit. But they're small and they taste like a cookie. I don't know. They could have more flavor. I think that's really what it is. There's strawberry, but there's not enough strawberry. Anyway, bread I made last night. I want to show you this. It's beautiful. Of course, my phone doesn't let me like switch the lens around, so I poked it. That's why it sank a little bit. But I've already eaten like almost half the loaf. It's so good. It's so fluffy. Look how like fluff that is. It's a Japanese milk bread recipe I got off the internet. I'm pretty much either getting these recipes from my mother-in-law or the internet. So yeah, I'm so excited. It's so good. I made toast today. Like, it's slightly sweet, but not enough to be considered like a dessert or breakfast bread. So you could use it for like a grilled cheese sandwich. Oh, it'd be so good on a grilled cheese sandwich, but it'd also be really good for like a French toast. I'm gonna try to make the fruit sandwiches, the fruit sandos that are just like basically a whipped cream with fruit in them, and they're lined up all pretty on the edge. They cut the fruit up to line it up on the edge. I'm trying to make one of those later today. See, I'm out of breath just talking to you guys. Which, one, again, I'm out of shape, but also my lungs were attacked. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and it's very exciting. Once I get the recipes down better, I will definitely do some like recipe videos. That's what they are. Some cook with me recipes. I'm put like the recipe I use. So this one's not perfect by any means because I had to convert, and I used Google to do this. I didn't use my brain to convert it from like grams to cups, because while the metric system makes more sense, none of my imperial stuff also has metric sides to it, so I have no way to measure out grams, or like I can measure out milliliters, but I have no way to measure out grams. So well, I know I can get the stuff, I just currently don't. So that's why this one is not as nice as it could be, but it's still really good. I'm really proud of it. My first time ever making it. And the bread I made last week, guys, it was beautiful. It was just a nice white bread, but it was so beautiful, so fluffy. It was a little more on the savory side, just regular white bread, but it was so good. So good. I devoured. I made 3 loaves. I made like 3 small loaves, and I'm just like, oh, this is beautiful. This was very wet, and I think it needed more flour. I think it needed more flour than what the conversion said, but I'm not sure. Because it baked. It did eventually bake. I didn't think it was going to bake. It barely rose in the first rise, but then the second rise, it really was like, I'm here. And the most exciting thing about this is, like, in my youth, I used to bake all the time. That's what I would do. I baked for all of our birthdays. All of our birthday cakes I baked from the time I could bake. So not that we don't love a Publix birthday cake. We do. But that's what we would do. I didn't make them from scratch or anything, but I would just make a box cake, and it'd be pretty good. Pretty good. Or I'd make like scones or cookies from scratch at like 5 in the morning when my insomnia was acting up. Well, I kind of stopped in college, and then I really just haven't been doing that, and I'd make cookies every once in a while. And then, so like COVID, I'm like, while I love playing video games, I have done nothing but play video games and lay in bed for 2 weeks. I need to do something else. I have this idea for a coffee shop cafe. Let me get doing some work on it and figure out what recipes and how I want the menu to be. And I started with cinnamon rolls. So I've always wanted to make cinnamon rolls. It was very intimidating to me, and I've never used yeast before, and I did it. I made them. Were they perfect? No. Did they get the rise I wanted them to? No. Did they taste amazing? Yes. And that's what matters. And like, I'm so proud of myself because that was so overwhelming. Using yeast was so overwhelming. When you watch a lot of cooking videos, they're like, you can do this, but make sure X, Y, and Z, and you don't overstretch the dough, and you don't break the gluten, and make sure you oil this, and blah, 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 blah. They make it very intimidating, which I know isn't they're just being cautionary. They don't want you to mess it up and then quit, but it's really not as bad as it make it sound. Like, people have been making bread and cakes and rolls in their houses for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So it's not as a big a deal as people make it to. It does seem very intimidating at first. Very, very intimidating. And I was like, I got to like the rolling it out and cutting it up and making it look all how it's supposed to be, and then proving it again. There are so many steps just in those 3 steps that I'm just like, okay, I gotta take a second. I gotta read these like 5 times each and go from there. And I did it. And once I just took my time and breathed, it's like, okay, makes sense. I got this. So yeah. So I will definitely walk through each step with you when I get those done. I just want to have like a set recipe that I know works, and it comes out the way it's supposed to each and every time, even if there's human error. So that is the goal, and I'll definitely share those with you. If also, speaking of like the cafe bookshop thing, if there are any cafe essential items you think I should put in there and I should make, let me know. If you have a recipe, that would be great. Any coffees or like coffee brands or roasters would be great. I have some in mind, but I definitely would like have a more variety to choose from, just to narrow down the best one, because I definitely want to do high quality, organic. I mean, for coffee, local's not really that feasible. I don't know if, I think South Georgia might have some coffee growers. I know we have some wine growers. But I know pretty much outside of Hawaii, the United States does not grow coffee. So kind of hard to do like local or regional with that, but ethically grown, and then the workers getting paid for their work and, you know, treated with respect and gratitude and all of that. Everything that many workers are not, even here in the U.S., especially here in the U.S. It's really bad for us, guys. We just cover it up with things like contests and gift cards and pizza parties. But yeah, so any recommendations on that? The book side, it's pretty set. It's just, there's a few booksellers, wholesale food wholesalers, and I'm just gonna have pretty much everything except pornography. Obviously, I'm not gonna sell porn. And it's paper porn, like paperback porn, hard copy porn, even still a thing? Because I know like Books A Million had that 18 plus section, so, but they don't anymore. I don't know when they took that out ages ago. I can't imagine that end of porn is profitable anymore. And you could say the same thing about bookstores, but there's a nostalgia there, and nostalgia sells. But I'm not doing it for that. It's just something I've always thought I've wanted. Bookstores bring me such joy and calm and peace, and I want to provide that to others, because this town doesn't have that. We have a bookstore, we have a Christian bookstore, but it's in a little strip mall, and no shame to it. It always seems like it's got people there and all that, but it's not. It's get the book and go kind of vibe. Not, this is where you can get a book, read the book, have a coffee, have a snack, buy another book, read through all the books, just get lost in it kind of vibe. Just very cozy. Think like, if you look on YouTube, like Lo-Fi Cafe, those kind of vibes, those cozy vibes, just warm and welcoming, a good place just to escape for a couple hours, or even just a few minutes, and have really good high quality coffee and tasting coffee. I mean, I love me some Starbucks, but if you have their just plain coffee, it's not very good. It's not very good. Same with Dunkin'. Their baseline coffees, when I want our baseline, everything baseline is going to be top tier, so you can only go up from there kind of thing. So that's the vibe, that's the goal. And God, the kids area, like I'm gonna have like a kids area. Oh, it's just gonna be so damn cute. And it'll look like a little fairy tale with little toadstool cushions, because like Urban, and I'm sure I can find them like on Amazon and stuff. And not Urban Decay, that's makeup. The other one, the store, Outfitters. I know, and I'm sure I could find like people who actually make these and go to more less corporate sides of things for like decorations and stuff. But they have little toadstool like seat cushions and stuff, and chairs, and just like a whole fairy tale vibe. Oh, just so cute. I love it. And it's not even a thing yet, but I just see it in my brain, and it's just wonderful. This is gonna be so great, guys. Anyways, that's pretty much COVID. COVID is out of us. We're negative. Thank God. We're still kind of feeling the after effects, the aftershocks of it, but we're definitely a lot better than we were. And I'm glad we got through it. I'm glad it wasn't too terrible. I still work from home. My manager still works from home, and he's on the other side of the country, but he's gotten it for a third time, and I just feel so bad for him. And he has asthma on top of it. So it's like cases and deaths are going down, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but this new variant is very contagious. While it's not as bad as OG COVID or Delta, it still sucks. It still really sucks. You're still going to be out for at least a week, if not a full 2 weeks. And if your job doesn't provide you any type of compensation, whether it's PTO or just anything, you're going to be SOL for that. That's a whole pay period for a lot of us, because most of us get paid bi-weekly. So we we ended up, I had some PTO, but it got taxed to hell and back. So I only had $91 for 2 weeks for 2 weeks, because I had my paycheck at the beginning of May, but because we didn't have the strength to cook, and obviously we couldn't go out to the store or anything, we had to get delivery, and that was easily $20-$30 for every meal. Well, you're doing that for 2 weeks, you're going to use up all your money real quick. So, and we also had to pay rent out of that, so that was a big chunk of it. But you know, I'm kind of like, thankfully we had stuff in our freezer afterwards, and like store, like pantry items like pasta and stuff. We were okay, but not everyone has that option. So just be cognizant of it. My hair, can you see that? Sheds like crazy. It's already shedding like crazy, and it may have gotten worse with COVID. I can't really tell. Because after I just ramble. You guys know I ramble. Thank you for just hanging out with me. I appreciate it, truly. Because, like, I just talk. Like, I don't even show anything of anything anymore. I just sit here and talk to you guys, and you just hang out with me, and I greatly appreciate it. Maybe something in my ramblings helps people or something. We can hope. We can hope. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, so it's that new, it's what, Omicron B4 or something like that, like battleship. It's very contagious, gets in very quickly. It makes you feel like shit for 2 weeks, just complete shit for 2 weeks, but you probably, knock on wood, probably won't end up on a ventilator. Probably won't need a lung transplant again, knock on wood. It's not as bad. From what I heard, it's not as bad as OG COVID or Delta. It's just quick, wreaks havoc. It's kind of like a tornado, like an E1 tornado. Quick, might take your roof off, but more likely just a tree or two down and some limbs and some power lines. Overall, can be cleaned up in 24 hours. So and that 24 hours in virus terms is 2 weeks. So it's not gone. Don't think COVID's gone. It's not gonna go away. It's gonna end up being like the flu or the cold. It's gonna be here all the time, and all you really can do is take precautions to make sure you're taken care of. I mean, at this point, that's all you really can do is just take care of yourself, and that, if that for you means continuing to wear a mask like myself until it gets to reasonable levels. Like every year the flu hits from October to December really bad, but I think, and don't get me wrong, hey Google, what are the number of flu cases for 2021? Let's do last year.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Making me read. Oh, it was kind of rough, but let's see. So Google says, well, CDC says, the last flu year that's quite a number. Oh, okay, it's giving us a range because not all flu cases are surveillanced. Okay, got it. So it leaves for a margin of error, and for those who may have died at home and not in a hospital. Okay, so there were 4,500 to 13,000 flu deaths. And again, that's like for those who may have died at home or just not in a hospital or didn't go to the doctor or something like that. It wasn't registered until after the fact. Okay, so, and we take that. That's how it goes. We just get our flu shot and go or get over-the-counter medicine for it. So eventually there probably will be over-the-counter COVID medicine, because remember, this is new. The flu's not new. We've been dealing with the flu for forever. So probably in the next year or so we'll have over-the-counter COVID medicine. hopefully. And then, hey Google, how many COVID deaths were in 2021?
4,547,782.
Woo! So comparatively to the flu, 4,000 versus 4 million. You see what I mean? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna keep wearing my mask until that 4 million gets down to 4,000. And then, it's still in like thousands a month, which is still a lot of people dying. I mean, if you put that many people in high school auditorium, it'll be overflowing. For the most part, like I guess an average size one. Like, that's still a lot of people monthly dying of COVID. So I'm gonna keep wearing my mask. I'm gonna keep getting vaccinated, getting boosted, and that's what I can do, you know? I mean, we go and travel. We always have been. We've been safe. I sure shit don't want to get it again, but if I do, I know what to expect. I know what to do. And I work where I have the ability to take off 2 weeks and be okay, and knowing I'll be okay. But again, not everybody has that, and everyone's as lucky as that. So just do what you can to keep you safe. But, you know, obviously still live your life. Because, I mean, it's going to be around forever, so you can't just hide in a bubble for the rest of your life, unless that's really what you want to do. But, yeah, that's my 20 minutes later. The whole point of this video is that I'm baking amazing things. Would love some recommendations and some menu ideas. And some top quality coffee recommendations. And we're done with COVID. It is out of us, but we still have some lingering aftershocks. So, yeah. And it's different for everyone. Some people will be like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Others, not so much. But yeah. Anyways, I thought I'd fill you guys in and let you know, not just leave you hanging. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.